know what that means?
Yeah, audio sync.
Yeah. That means you need to get started.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, man. Wesley just walked in the building. What do you think? He comes off of
He
how many
just
hours?
came off a plane and came straight here.
Yeah.
I'm honored to have you on, man.
Thank
It's
you.
it's been a long time coming. I wanted to discuss this some time ago, but
Steve-O.
you said you follow the podcast. And
Yeah.
we wanted to get you on to kind of tell a little bit of what's going on. Since how does it feel to be in Vegas and not be stripped down and counting the hours and making weights and heights and what's it feel like? This is the first time in a minute, right?
Yeah, it's the first time since 2018. That was the first Olympia I did. So I've never been to Vegas without actually competing. So it's going to be very special for me. Because I've, as you mentioned right before the podcast, I usually, of course, I'm the athlete competing. So I don't really watch, or I'm unable to really follow or watch the show. So now I will be watching the show and will be able to be objective and analyze everybody to see, okay, who do I think is going to really win this thing?
He actually gets to eat this time. This is like the foodie heaven.
No, but wait,
You know.
he just walked in and like we said, what do you want? He said exact portions.
He wanted
As much
10
chicken.
milliliters of chicken.
Yeah.
He wanted 350 grams.
So he wrote on a text and it said 10 milliliter. I'm
It
like,
said 300 grams, whatever, 10 milliliters of chicken. I said, what the hell is this?
I said those Dutch guys, it's a little different.
Something messed up there.
But you got to try. There's endless food here.
Yeah.
So enjoy it.
I don't think he cares about the food though. He just wants to see an awesome show. He's the
Yeah,
bodybuilder. That's what we want to get into a little
Yeah,
bit.
for
So
sure.
I said how massive you were when you came in, and you said like we figured out you're close to 300. Let's just gonna say you're 300.
Yeah.
And I said, what's it feel like? I mean, I think he's the biggest classic guy we've
I was going to say, has there ever been a 300-pound classic guy?
I don't know.
level.
I the only one who comes close is, of course, Urs in the off season. But now we went to the
I think he said
Open.
280, right?
Yeah.
I think
I think he'll be close when he kind of
Yeah.
settles after this Open thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about a guy in your division, the hype? And I mean, we saw Chris kind of bounce last year, and do you think it was close between him and Martin in Prague?
Well, at first I was like,
Did you watch it?
yeah, I watched it, and the first few minutes I was like, okay, Martin is going to win for sure. But then the longer the show went on, I was like, wait a second, this is what makes Classic special: the consistency, the presentation, and the way that Chris just stays the same. He knows how to play the crowd and the judges. And Martin started to kind of feel that, maybe subconsciously, that, wait a second, I'm losing ground here, even though I thought for sure I was going to beat Chris, no doubt. But now it seems that's going to be a close one.
I think he tore his hamstrings. That's what I think he said.
Something like that.
So I think it threw him off a little bit. But
Yeah.
with Classic, I mean, Chris obviously came from bodybuilding. He got his pro card, North Americans, and in open bodybuilding. What surprises me is all you guys know all the poses that you're not allowed to. If there was any pose you wish you could hit, tell me what that is that you do not get to hit in Classic.
I think both lat spreads, because my back is one of my strongest
Urs
points.
told me his front was his best pose too.
Yeah, I think it's such a classic pose as well, because in the Classic you see the front double bicep being done in various ways. The front lat spread is the same thing. You can do that also in even a more classic way. And the funny thing is, like someone like Dorian Yates, who is known for that pose, did it in kind of a classic way in his routines. So I think that's a missed opportunity maybe for the future.
Were you hitting those in your routines?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys practice those that way, and I think there has to be a line separation of division though. So I think that's why they hold you guys to front double and then side chest and back double and whatever, a couple other poses.
Yeah.
But I always said that because even you're looking at men's physique, I don't know how close you follow it, but like the front and the back pose, but they seem to turn into like 100 other poses, because they have to make do with the transitions.
Yeah.
But I think that certain guys like yourself who have crazy upper torso with small waist, shoulders, like, dude, your back is crazy.
Yeah, back is one of my favorite body parts to actually have big, like to show off, because it's like everybody wants a bigger back. And no matter how big it is, it can always be bigger. Yeah. But that also gives you so much dominance on stage. And combined with my height, it's like I just have to stand there and you can just see it immediately. And that's how I won a lot of my shows. A lot of the people said in the review of the show that you just couldn't get your eyes off of the stature and the back and the height combined.
Was it always that way though? Is that your, like, we all have genetic body parts.
Yeah.
Was your width always in the V taper always something that?
No, my first show, because I started in bodybuilding as well, because I started in 2013 in the Netherlands, and I did all of those shows up until 2017, all bodybuilding shows, even in the super heavyweight class. And I had to do all the poses, of course, but in the first few years, my back, in the first show, my back was just terrible, to be honest, but I still somehow won the show. But the balance was there, but the back, not really. And I noticed my torso is pretty long if I don't fill it out with a back. So I worked really hard on the lats specifically, and especially because my tie-ins are a bit higher, I'm just going to create such a wide back that it looks, that the fact that they're tying in higher actually is a benefit, because it looks so freaky then that it's actually, when you do a front relax, that's when you see, okay, now that those are big lats, and that's drawing your eye to the physique.
Do you think you have, like, so is that something you worked on to build like a more of a taper, like lower portions? Like, do you train accordingly, or is that something you use as your strong point?
Yeah, I always try to create the best possible taper for myself, but I just noticed, like, most classic physique guys have a waist. The waist itself goes into a V. I don't have it. My obliques are simply shaped differently. My hips are a little wider. So I need to create the upper portion as wide as I possibly can to still create that taper. And you could call it a V taper, but sometimes it's called a Y taper, like it's even more extreme. And but because of that, my legs also need to be proportionate to that width, of course, which is what I've been working on.
And that's why you've taken the time down?
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed if I compete every single year, multiple times a year, and you need to work on such a big body part, it simply won't grow enough in between the times that you compete. The most off season I usually had, it's like a couple of months that you're getting into it, and then you got to prep for the Olympia again, for example. So it wasn't possible to really build a lot of mass.
You know what's crazy is if you were coming up in my era and you're 6'3", no shot.
No, true.
Right? Like, you're too tall.
Yeah.
Quincy, how well did he?
Yeah.
He was a little taller than you.
Yeah,
he was 300 pounds. How tall was Tony Freeman?
I think he's 6'2".
Yeah, could be.
But that inch does, like, I mean, we've heard about, like, let's say Andrew Jack, who's 6'2".
Yeah.
I've heard, hey, he's too slender, or he's got to fill in the gaps. Does that kind of blow you away? And you look at Andrew Jack and look at what it is and where you were headed before you went into Classic?
Yeah, that's just insane. Because you're right. I was kind of stuck because I won everything in the Netherlands, but the Netherlands is a small country. So it was relatively easy to win those shows as a super heavyweight. But then I was like, okay, what's the next step? Because the moment I go international, those guys are way shorter, but way more muscular than me. They fill up more space. And I was, of course, very young still, but that's when the Classic came around. So I never had to try it out. But that's when I could go for the Classic right away.
All right, take two. Hey, guys, if you have not heard, I've launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. And if you would like to schedule on consult or get more information, make sure you guys go over, check it out, and let us see how we can help with your health needs.
Click the link below.
Shit.
Say click the link below.
Okay. Click the link below.
Who introduced, like, so let's go back a little bit. So why were you inspired to get into the bodybuilding? Were you an athlete, or, I mean, Netherlands, there's so many tall guys. Like, yeah. I've never been around. I never felt so short when I go to places.
I don't even feel tall.
Like, do you have siblings, or like, is everyone bigger in your family?
My brother, he's the same height as me, exact same. My dad is I think he's about 6'2", probably. Maybe 6'1.5", and my mom is even pretty tall for a woman. She's taller than pretty much every woman here. So yeah, it is in the family, but also every generation gets taller as well. Because I'm the tallest of like the previous generation as well, and probably I have a son as well. He's growing quicker than the average, so he's probably gonna outgrow me as well. But yeah, I mean,
How'd you start?
Yeah, I started because my dad used to be muscular and strong. And as a young guy, at first you think that's normal because he's your dad. He lifts like the refrigerator upstairs, like the washing machine, like all by himself. I was like, whoa, that's awesome.
What do you mean?
Well, the washing machine, like for clothes, it was in the attic. And we have like 2 stairs there, 2 floors. And he got it himself.
And you watched him do this?
Yeah. And that's very inspiring.
Did he have like a rope around it? How does he do this?
Just like he managed it somehow.
Yeah.
Do you know who are we talking about today that tore his knee in the world's strongest man carrying the refrigerator on his back?
Oh,
Franco Colombo.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Franco Colombo carried a refrigerator, but he was like,
and he was like 5'6".
Yeah, but it's like stuff like this that as a kid you think is impossible.
Superhero.
Superhero. It's a superhero.
Yeah.
He didn't carry it up 2 stairs at the house.
Yeah, but stuff like this, yet you remember that.
Yeah.
And that inspires you to also try it. And also I watched Superman, X-Men, all those guys had one thing in common. They were all muscular.
Yeah.
And the hero always won because he was big. Like that was always like a common thing. And I just thought it was cool to be like that. And then I was 14 and that was a legal age to train at the gym in the Netherlands because at first they thought it would stunt your height and your growth. But we now know that's not true. But back then you were not allowed to train before. But the lucky thing was my dad knew how to do all the exercises and the movements. So I started from day one the correct way. And when you're 14, you kind of have a jump ahead of everybody else. Because some people, they start also that young or 16, but the first few years, it's kind of a mess, like a noise, like they don't really gain as much. But from day one, I was able to train properly. But because I got a set schedule, I actually didn't really like it as much because I was like, oh, so you have to do this to get strong and muscular. And when you don't see progress right away, then you start to kind of wonder if is this for me. But the moment you do see the progress, then the fun begins. And that's still that's the most fun to me, the progress in bodybuilding. Just making progress, which again is why I'm taking this year off, because when I look at my pictures every single year, I was like, am I really making that much progress from year to year? Like,
because I mean,
I was just going to say, what is the weight cap that you can go up to?
So I'm 6'3", and I still have some room left. I've always had some room left, so I knew, okay, whenever I do a show, I will make the weight anyway. But I don't know what it's in pounds.
How much more can you gain?
I think like 6 pounds or something, 6 or 7 pounds.
That's a huge difference on a classic frame.
It is. And that's why every time I did a show, I dialed it down to a level where I was like, oh, this is still not the weight limit. And I know that a lot of those guys are having a lot of trouble making the weight. So I was already in my mind one step behind the rest, even though I won the Arnold with quite a low weight. But that's when everything comes together perfectly, when the peak is perfect, for example. But I need pure extra muscle mass to be there to really overtake some of those guys who now are at the top. So that's my goal.
Do you have a limit right now, like expanding your body, like you're just letting it go?
Yeah, at the FIBO, I don't know if you remember, but you said, I told you my weight back then. You were like, you got to go to at least 270, 280.
Yeah.
And then
here we are.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, let's just let go and just do it. Instead of always.
You got to just let it rebound and settle.
Yeah. I was always afraid of gaining too much fat or getting out of shape. And it has to do with social media and the sponsorships, thinking that you are losing momentum in the industry because you don't look like that guy anymore as much. But then I was like, think about the long-term goal. That's real bodybuilding, is just building muscle and mass. And then when you die down, you got to see a difference.
You came in at an era where there was social media. So like if you started training 13, you said, or
14, yeah.
14. So, there was Instagram, obviously YouTube. Your dad taught you how to train, but did you notice the bodies then? Do you remember the first like video or like what you saw that inspired you to do bodybuilding?
It was the Mr. Olympia 2005 of the close-up of you and Ronnie when he was wearing the purple trunks. Yeah, that's the one I remember because you guys were like, it was a battle, but you were still friendly and with each other.
Course, yeah.
Like it was competitive, but at the same time, we're in this together. Like we're rivals, but at the same time, we're having a good time. And that was really inspiring to me because I'm also not that super aggressive. For example, I'm more of a calm guy, but that really drew to me that such muscular physiques could still have that kind of personality. And that really drew me to the sport even more. And when I watched those videos, I was like, okay, I'll never reach this probably, but it's still motivating me to get there because there are people who are this, who have achieved this. So it means it's possible. So that really drove me at a very young age to do my very best.
You know, Steve Weinberg, a judge of that show.
Oh, yeah?
And when he came backstage after the awards were given and I got second, I said, bullshit to Steve. And he looked at me like with the, Steve look, right?
Yeah.
He's stern, right? And it looked like he was like, wanted to say something, but he like refrained,
Yeah.
and he walked away.
What do you think he was going to say?
You mother, you know how he is. I'm always asking
Well, you
if
didn't
it wasn't me, like, cause we were close.
Yeah.
And he knew I was like, because that was the first year I actually kind of compared to Coleman in the back. And, listen, it's friendly, but at the same time, man, I was disappointed. I wanted to win. We all want to win, whether we think our team's always going to be like, Jay, you got this, And I thought it was closer. I still see why he won. But then I won the next year, 06, right?
Yeah.
But, when your vision is bodybuilding and you're watching these videos, you're seeing the elite, it's inspiring to you. You're in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
There's, you have Barry DeMay, who's from there.
Yeah.
He was a huge inspiration to me. Yeah. I got to meet him. He's still in amazing shape, right? He was very inspirational to me. But like you come to the States and now you're surrounded by, like, we live in the Mecca, so we're super spoiled here. All these gyms, like literally you could spend the next days going to a different gym every single day. And I know you have some on your bucket list you want to visit that weren't here the last time you came, or now that's one thing you can come and get to train amongst it.
Yeah.
Is there any camaraderie in the gym atmosphere for you? Are you the guy in your gym? Because you live in do you live in a village or? From a village.
Officially, it is a village/town indeed.
Okay.
But I lived in the city before, but I mostly lived in like farmer towns.
That's how I grew up too.
Yeah.
So
I'm used to that kind of people. And the first gym I went to was because my dad went to there. And the owner used to do bodybuilding as well. But the rest was just general folk who had no idea what bodybuilding was. And so I didn't really grew up with knowing what true competitions were and how that really worked. I had no idea.
Like seeing people in the gym, was there anyone in the gym that like, wow, look at that guy's body, that you can even recall?
No, that's the thing. I started at 14 years old, and when I was 17, I was already the biggest in the gym. And it wasn't even on purpose. It was just, I train hard. Yeah, it just happens. And that's where genetics come in, of course, because my nutrition was also not really on par. But the training, I had a lot of fun. I just did as much as I could with the training. My dad always said, if you can do at least 6 reps, you can go heavier, he said. That's the only rule. So I did a lot of volume, every 10 reps until I hit the last set where I was around 6 reps, okay? Then I go either heavier or I don't, and I move to all the basic movements that I got from your videos and Ronnie's videos, for example. Literally those movements, all the basics, and that's how I grew the first 5-6 years.
And as a kid he's 17 in high school, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And like for university, like how do your parents push you for university? Like this is what you have to get a career because. Did you look? As bodybuilding and seeing people like myself or Ronnie Coleman saying they make a living at this? Was that thought or?
Oh, back then I didn't even think about it as a career.
You just wanted to be huge.
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun in training. I wanted to be huge, and I didn't think about competing yet because I used to be quite introverted, much more than now. So I never even entertained the thought of going in front of an audience. In my underwear, basically, and
I was so scared.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah.
And if I didn't get offered a free gym membership to do it, I don't know if I ever would have done it.
Yeah. I have the same kind of story. For me, it was like a coach who would coach me for free. He gave me everything for free, like the advice, the food, the training. And he was like, because he really urged me to compete. He was like, you're already in stage condition, because I didn't eat enough, but I still had genetics to build muscle. So I was very lean. Like already I could stand on stage immediately and be at stage condition, at least as an amateur. So he was like, you got to compete. You got to go on stage. And that's when that guy is from the gym in the city. And in the city, there were bigger bodybuilders there who I could look up to. At least that guy who was still more muscular than me, I believed him. And I was like, okay, maybe I should just give it a shot. So I went home. I asked my parents, do you think it's a good idea if I do this? And they were like very supportive of me, actually. Especially my dad, because I used to go to the bodybuilding shows himself. His friends did bodybuilding back in the day. For example, he actually saw Ronnie Coleman compete in the Dutch Grand Prix. And maybe I think you were.
I was in it.
Yeah, you were there as well.
Yeah.
So he watched those shows live too. So he immediately, of course, wanted me to do it. And my mom is always very supportive of me. She thinks I make the right decisions when I do something. So I just went for it. He coached me for free, and that's how I won my first competition. And that's kind of how it began.
We don't just fight insurance companies, we train for it. If you want results, get a lawyer that puts in the work. 107. Do you trust a lawyer that doesn't train? 102. Or a lawyer that quits when it gets tough. Pacific West Injury Law. We're built to win.
Yeah.
See, I don't know a lot of your history of those days. I just know you from the
Nick Strength and Power.
yeah. What's it called?
Mr. Classic.
Mr.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
What's it called, Mr.? You remember what the name of the thing was?
Oh, he's gonna be upset.
It's your golden era.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you won the title. You better remember.
Yeah. I have the
Sorry, Nick.
with the
The
title on it.
next video is gonna say Wesley forgot my title. I'm coming at him. I want my watch back.
We were gonna do a reel.
Didn't you win a watch for that?
No, that was the next.
Oh.
That was the.
He gave a Rolex away at the next one,
yeah.
and he put Mr.
I
Gold.
got a money. I don't know how much. A PayPal amount and a trophy. I still
I
have
want
it.
a watch too.
Yeah, a watch would be nice.
Yeah. We'll tell him to give you one. Nick,
That's how I first saw you.
Yeah.
And we were just talking off camera, you know, how Nick must feel like he creates this golden era thing.
Yeah.
Wesley Vissers comes and wins this thing. He introduces you to the world outside of where you're known, because you weren't famous outside of that, right? Were you doing YouTube then yet? Yeah.
I was doing YouTube,
Okay.
so he really helped my subscriber count.
Tell me how much that propelled you. Did
A lot.
you remember?
I have two moments for me. I think you know Louis Marco.
Of course, yeah.
yeah.
So he was the first. I had around 20,000 subscribers on my own, and that's when he discovered me, and that's when he shared me. Then it went really quickly, and then the next step was Nick Strength and Power, and then it really blew up. Then it was already above 200,000, for example, and then it kept going because he and all of his viewers were also really into classic bodybuilding, and they identified with it as well. And then they were like, whoa, he is really a classic guy, as if he was from the 70s. And I had the access because you were supposed to do a posing routine, and that was kind of your submission for the show. And you had to do all the poses listed. But I had access to the gym I used to train at. It had a stage and stage lights. And I could visit the gym at like midnight. And I just turned on the lights and did my routine on that stage.
So it was spot on.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was like I had a literal stage at my disposal.
You were probably the only one.
Yeah,
right?
I was the only one because the rest did it like in their attic or I don't know, maybe a small room somewhere. But I had a huge stage that was actually used for performances in the Netherlands, and I had it for my own. So I had a lot of tools at my disposal, and I also had a professional camera for YouTube, so I used that to record it. So
Were you filming it or?
no, he wasn't.
Okay.
That was 2017. So
he had a professional camera, and our last guest said the guy bought a camera for him because he believed in him.
Yeah.
So like, the camera's the key.
yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
And fast forward. So, you know, the world gets to know you.
Yeah.
We just talked about you sitting last year on the Arnold stage with many great champions.
Yeah.
The winner.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger gives you an award for. Do you ever think you win an Arnold Classic?
No. Well, I don't say ever, but this quick and this sudden, I didn't expect. Because I have it on video, I think even, that I went into the show, because last Olympia before that, I think I was 7th. And some of those guys who beat me at the Olympia were also doing the Arnold. I was like, if I can only beat one of those guys, I'm already ranked up from the Olympia. So I was like, okay, if I hit top 5, that's probably going to happen. So top 5 was my actual goal. And then the rest is just, the dream. And then, yeah, it just all came together.
What blows me away, though, is when you're in this classic division, it's kind of mirrored towards Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Like he was in the classic era.
Yeah.
So you look at the guys, and you might not think that Franco Columbu was classic as much as you think of like even Sergio Oliva, who was pretty massive, right? But yeah, Frank Zane and all these guys. I mean,
Samir.
do you have a favorite classic guy? I know you watched a lot of me and Ronnie and it was inspirational, but is there a certain guy that you look at? You're a taller guy. Who do you favor in that classic era the most?
I have, of course, Arnold. It's going to be ultimate number 1 for me, but we all know that already. I have Barry DeMay, because he also is pretty tall. He has a very, very aesthetic physique, but still, what I love about classic bodybuilding is it's not just proportionate, but they always have an X factor body part that stands out.
Was he second at the Olympia one year to Haney?
A third.
Okay, that's right, third.
Yeah, Rich Kaspari second, Lee Haney
right.
first. And then Barry DeMay trained extra hard for the next Olympia, but then he tore his chest because of it. And he could have, who knows what a future would have been. But he had a great physique, great conditioning. He always supported me throughout the years. Whenever I did a show, always gave me great feedback. And when I win a show, of course, he congratulates me personally. All this, so he's a very great support.
Still loves
the year.
bodybuilding.
Yeah,
he comes to see me every year at FIBO. He came to see me last year. Remember, he came over and I said, "Bring him over." Yeah,
he's nice. He's nice. Well, we also have Lee Haney. I really think because his pose routine, he really does some great dynamic classic poses in there that are much more difficult to hit than it looks. And that's the key, of course. Arnold did the same thing. Because when I try to do the same,
twisting shots.
Yeah, the twisting shots, and it's just very artistic and difficult.
Haney did the vacuum bicep.
Vacuum.
He was retiring the year I started training. He retired.
Oh wow!
So I watched Dorian Yates climb the ladder, and I watched Lee Labrada step away, and then I seen Flex Wheeler come up, and all those guys. Because I've asked a lot of people. We've asked a lot of who do you think the greatest body ever? Mm-hmm. And a lot of two people have said Flex Wheeler.
Flex Wheeler,
yeah.
Kind of hard to disagree.
We hate to disrespect Arnold because I feel like Arnold is given so much credit. And I think even in today, I know the leader of your division the last few years, Chris Bumstead, right? He's super popular. We just talked about his success. People look at it and they say he's more popular than Arnold. Mm-hmm. But I think Arnold's really, he's done it all. Like he created all this opportunity for everyone, I feel like, in the eyes.
I think if Arnold grew up in this era, that would be unbelievable.
Because his charisma was top. Top.
Just you can't fake it. You either have it or you don't.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, it's.
What's the first thing Arnold ever said to you? Do you remember? He made a joke to me. I was like, "Oh, you're looking really good backstage."
Yeah, I think the first time that we met. It was backstage. Well, I saw him before, but it wasn't personal. It was in front of a group.
Yeah.
But last year, he came to the athletes check-in all of a sudden out of the blue. Like a door opened and Arnold came in with no one around him, just him. I'm like, huh? Is that Arnold coming in? And the girls noticed him first. So they were all storming him for selfies and pictures. And I was like, okay, this is my ultimate opportunity to get a picture with him because that was my goal. And I took the picture with him and it was just like, he didn't really, because he was taking so many pictures, he didn't really individually recognize me as somebody else compared to the rest. I was wearing a Dutch oak T-shirt, but
on purpose.
Yeah, but that picture is really. I already won. when I took a picture with him, and it was a perfect picture, I sent it to my family. I was like, okay, he's done. He already got what he came for, because that was my dream, to really finally be with him and on a picture with him. That's how special he's always been to me. But then when I won, that's the second time he actually really saw me. And he normally does kind of a generic speech, right? How hard did you train? How hard was the diet? But that wasn't the case with me. He actually personalized the questions to me, which was even more special. He really complimented my posing, how I looked like a golden era bodybuilder, a classic bodybuilder, comparing me to Lou Ferrigno. Because let's be real, Arnold is Arnold. No one can look like him. So, you know, Arnold is always going to be number one.
I know, but you get a lot of comparisons.
Yeah, but even, let's say, even if I was a carbon copy of Arnold, he still would say that I would look like Lou Ferrigno. So that's to me, that was already the best compliment, because Lou Ferrigno is kind of the most known competitor to Arnold, like the
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, so that was to me like the next best thing he could say.
I just called you a big fuck. That's a compliment, by the way. So I don't know. I don't want you guys to take offense.
No, we understand it. We
It's an American compliment.
Oh, we get it.
We were looking at each other like,
It's a
holy
big
shit!
fuck.
Like, you know, like this is the biggest I've seen you.
Yeah.
Remember, I've seen you like strip down a little bit,
Yeah.
a little more than likely,
Yeah.
and not like this.
Yeah.
So you took it to heart when I said you got to be
Yeah, of
bigger
course.
than.
I really take it
And I
to
was-
heart.
I was said 270. Man, I was missing
Yeah.
it, huh?
Now listen,
You
now
took an extra.
if he struggles making weight, it's your fault.
He said I can already tell he can't wait. He's going to watch the show this week and be like, I got to get back to dieting. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that has always been my crutch a little bit. When I go to a show, I want to get back into shape. But now, me and my coach decided the next show you're going to do, you're going to win, no matter which show it is. So we have to be 100% confident that we are making the improvements needed to win that show. So that's why it's a joint decision, and not just me randomly saying, okay, now I'm going to prep. But we have to agree on the shape, on the proportions being there, before we say, okay, now we're going to go for it again.
Fit Club started right here at the Strip, off Hacienda and Decatur. The energy, the grit, the place that set the standard for Vegas fitness. Then came Northwest, near Summerlin, sharing the Fit Club gym culture and vibes across Las Vegas. And the crown jewel, Henderson, a cutting-edge space designed for bodybuilders, competitors, and anyone chasing their best self. Fit Club Las Vegas, now with 3 locations.
So the improvements are being done, taking pictures.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You're a hybrid athlete these days. You're a social media bodybuilder. Where is your true passion? Because you kind of have to wear multiple hats now. Sponsorships,
Yeah.
Fans. You get so much support. People look up to you so much. They admire you. But it's a hard thing in today's era because you have to balance the cameras in the gym. And if you watch a lot of my old videos, I said, no cameras, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm not changing your weights.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear a cell phone ring.
Yeah.
If you don't carry a phone to the gym with you to record here and there almost daily, you're not going to be as popular. And I consider you very popular. I consider you a social media / top professional.
Yeah.
What is your ultimate, what's your passion? Is it like, I want to win the biggest, or I want to be both?
Bodybuilding for sure. Just bodybuilding.
Tells a lot about his personality.
Yeah, because the 2 things I like about bodybuilding is the training and the competition, and now also meeting the people in person when I'm at a booth. Ever since winning the Arnold, the queue is a lot bigger, and then you hear all those inspirational stories, and that really is motivating to me as well, to hear all that, to keep going. The only things I need are those 2. All the social media and the camera, all that stuff could just disappear. But you have to nowadays. But if I could somehow make the same living, just doing bodybuilding in the gym and then going to the show and kind of like how it used to be, I think, before social media, I would be very happy.
Do you miss the old days when it was that way for you?
Yeah, because it was just, you didn't have to think about anything. You just went to the gym, you only focused on the workout and no distractions. And the only talking you would do is like with your training partner, but it was always relevant to the workout and nothing outside of it. And now it's so easy to be distracted, even if you don't want to. Because like you say, you have to take out your phone or a camera and record yourself either for a true YouTube video or your stories on Instagram to kind of stay relevant the whole time. And it gets you a little bit out of the momentum of the training. Because like in a leg workout, I really want to go serious and hard at it. But then all of a sudden it shoots in your head, oh wait, I haven't recorded a set yet. That sucks, to be honest, about modern training. But it's the way it goes at the moment.
Yeah. How do you handle your victories versus your losses? I mean, you won the Arnold.
Yeah.
You come back as the favored guy. This year you fell back.
Yeah.
Was that disappointing to you?
Yes, very disappointing.
Because you go there, you're not going there like that Olympia or whatever. That I want to place top 5 at all. Like we talked about, I want to place top 5 and you win.
Yeah.
So now you finished, what'd you finish, 4th?
5th.
5th. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you get 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
Not good. It
What
was.
do you think?
Yeah, no.
It was a combination. It was a combination because I kind of knew it going in
What
the
do you
week
mean?
before because I got very sick. I lost 15 pounds.
I think I heard that.
Yeah, I made a video after the competition so it wouldn't be like a cliche story. I first wanted to just use the effect of placebo, not think about it, just carb load as much as you can, go into the show and pretend it didn't happen. But I ended up 5th, so I had some explaining to do. So then I was like, okay, this is what happened. You can see in the weight graph, you can see my weight drop down so dramatically. And for me as a tall guy with the legs needing to be full, and my coach is also very smart. He always says, if you go down during a prep, you can only go up during the off season. During the prep, it's over. Like during the prep, you can try to carb load, try to get back to life. It's not going to happen. You're too deep into it. Especially for me, I was able to carb load fully one day out. Like even if it was 1,000 grams of carbs, it didn't matter anymore. Like it changed my physique. It only changed my vascularity. Like you could see the veins, but the fullness
Just never filled in.
No, I was so flat, unbelievable. But I was very conditioned still. But for my physique, that's not enough.
I've done a lot of shows where I knew I was off, and you go out there and your demeanor has to not show it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to let everyone down, and
Exactly.
you don't want to be that one, right? Or you can easily pull the plug and say, you know what, I'm here, I'm not doing it. But sometimes we roll with it.
I was like, the Arnold just means too much to me to just at the last moment say I'm not going to do it. Because I'm always like, you never know what's going to happen. You never know. It always gives you some experience and some knowledge for the next time. Because I actually got sick the night before going on the airplane to Ohio. So I already, let's just not be graphic about it, but just went to the bathroom a lot. So I lost a lot of weight already. And my girlfriend, Marley, she said at that moment, do you still want to go? Because I was laying in bed like I was crippled. I was like, yes. For me, that's the thing about me. Mentally, I'm always going to be stronger than physically. Like mentally, I'm always going to say yes until I literally can't anymore. So that's the problem with me. I always go too far. That's why I have a coach. I used to coach myself, and I went too far always. So now with my coach, that's how I was able to win the Arnold of 24, because he took away my subjectivity about not being.
Didn't you go and compete after the show, though, or you were going to?
I did
After Arnold.
Detroit.
Yes.
I got second to Matt Grego, who was third at the Arnold. But it was, let's just say, the decision was so close, it could have gone either way. But knowing Matt was going to the Olympia and I already announced I wasn't going to go, the logical decision for the industry, if you're even on the scorecard, would be,
So do you think you should have won?
Of course.
I honestly, like, I could have won. I look at the footage objectively. Yes, he had a better sweep and better glutes, but you have a lot more body parts. So, yeah.
If you won, would you have changed your mind and gone to Olympia no matter what you were out?
I could, yeah.
Would you have come?
I could have
swung differently
Yeah.
if you qualified.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, if I need to qualify now, then it's going to be not enough time to really bounce back from this sickness and all that stuff.
I got to ask you, because I've noticed you have like you really care about the Arnold. What's more important, winning an Olympia or winning an Arnold for you?
Well, I already won the Arnold, of course. And
No, before you won it. What would have been
Before-
for you?
Before, it was the Arnold, because I never met Arnold Schwarzenegger. I always dreamt about him giving the speech to me. Like, I've always watched all his videos, like to Cedric, to all the other guys who won the Arnold, and how he does the speeches, and you're like face to face with him. Yeah. That was always it didn't matter which title went along with it. It was his competition. So that to me was the most important. But now I already won the Arnold.
On to the next.
So now the Olympia is still, of course, an open book, which and people still, even though with the prize money now things might change for some, but people consider the Olympia still the show of bodybuilding.
You just talked about your lines in the queue and all the things that when you win Olympia, bro, it changes the game. Trust me.
Yeah.
I thought I was populist and I was second 4 times.
Yeah.
And
6.
I'm like, well, 6 out, but I was second 4 to Coleman before I won. And I was like, damn, I'm popular. I was booked every week. I was traveling. We were together at a lot of them. And I was, I was like, it was like a battle. But man, when I won, it went from here. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy difference.
Yeah.
So it makes a huge difference. But I want to ask you, how many guys have qualified this year?
For Classic.
I think it's like 60.
But they're changing the rules, right?
Yes. So I want to ask you about this.
I'll bring it down a little bit.
Very crowded field.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, if you're in the athlete's position and you're doing the Olympia, it's impossible to feel as special as you do at the Arnold, because you're not being treated as an individual, but more as like the next one in line. A number. And you can't really do much about it when there's so many people. I mean, how else are you going to let everything go on time at the Olympia? It's like kind of a rolling thing that has to keep going. And at the Arnold, they can take time. And just a little bit more time per athlete makes you feel more special, that you're really the professional there. And you're really a VIP being treated there. And I would really like to see less competitors at the Olympia to create that feeling for the athletes, and it translates to the audience and everything else as well. When the athlete feels appreciated and given the time per athlete, I think that will change the whole show for the better as well. And also the performance of the athlete. More predictability, less waiting. Like, you can really nail the look much better, which ultimately is what the sport is about. And at the Arnold, it's much easier.
Bodybuilding, especially in the classic division, it's expanded internationally tremendously. I mean, you travel a lot through Europe. Listen, people want the opportunity to come to the biggest show on earth, right? That's the Olympia.
Yeah.
They're trying to put a fix to it. I think it's going to take some time. Obviously, they're having tiers.
Yeah.
Does that change your mindset at all leading into next year?
Yeah, it opens up, if this is like the first step into making it a smaller show, because you have to draw a line somewhere. Okay, we're going to go from 60 like to 40 maybe. And then to see if the experience changes. If it stays kind of relatively the same, they might do another tier.
He knows, actually. He's the first one to actually know how many Because it's how many people that's going to qualify? How many did we figure this out?
It can be anywhere between like 40 and 40 something.
Yeah, I think it was around 40
still,
if you calculate it.
Yeah.
I've always said they need to get it down to like under 20.
Yeah, at least.
Because if you're the best in the world, if you're 40th, you have no chance of winning.
Yeah, but I think it's strange when you're doing the biggest show in the world, and after like 16, you don't get a placing anymore. How is it possible?
Then they should only have 16 people.
At the Olympic Games, everybody gets their own spot, like unless you don't finish or something. But everybody who does the competition, they get their own placing, their own time, everything. And I think at the Olympia, that should also be the standard. I mean, yeah, every athlete that goes there should be considered one of the best in the world, because that's literally what the show is about. The winner is the best of the world. So even if you're like 20th, it should still be respected, because then you can say I'm still 20th in the world.
Can I ask you a question? Your first Olympia, what would you place?
14th.
So you've been at the back end.
Yeah. That was...
How many years was?
15 out of 16.
Oh, yeah.
My first, yeah. Then I moved to 8th and then 2nd.
Yeah, I didn't go so... I went from 14th to 11th 2 times, then 8th, then 7, now back to 8. So for me, it's also a very slow transition.
So, I mean, that tells a lot. The viewers, the listeners, like to show that like it always doesn't start at the top. You know, not everyone's Phil Heath or Chris Bumstead, you know, who...
I'm also not that guy. I'm like, I can't compare myself to those guys because they just show up. They get second immediately, like Urs third immediately. Yeah. And now you see he goes to open, he wins again immediately. I mean, that's not who I am. I need more time to get there, but once I'm there, I'm really there. So that's why I'm also again taking this little time off.
Height dilemma this year.
Yeah.
What's you've been heighted before? Do you see what is there? There's a lot of misconceptions on what's going on.
I've seen the most strange things backstage. I'm not going to name names, but there are some guys who wear wigs specifically.
So they
weigh in.
So they were measuring the hair, and I mean that's been the controversy. So this year they're trying to height people the right.
But is it really official now? Because I've seen a post on Instagram, but I haven't seen.
We'll know Thursday night.
Yeah, but with AI, you can fake anything nowadays. You can say draft an email from the Olympia and make it look like.
I think the athletes got it.
Yeah, but only the Olympia athletes or all IFBB pros?
I think the ones that are in the show.
Okay. Yeah, then I wouldn't know myself, of course. But
did you? And just be honest. I mean, have you questioned heights before to weight ratio? Or did it not really matter?
I've seen some strange cases, which is what prompted me to sometimes question it. But honestly, even with Mike, for example, I never even questioned it at all. I didn't even pay attention to it back at the Arnold or back at the Olympia. I'm not really one to analyze that too much because I know that because for me, it's always I can weigh the most out of everybody anyway. So I'm like,
you don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care much about that. And because if I had a lot of trouble making weight, then I would have cared more because then I would okay, I want some more pounds as well to grow more. But I haven't had that problem yet. So for me, it's not really such a relevant problem. But I can imagine for some, I've heard stories that have to fast for 24 hours and take a sauna, not drink anything, and then try to make weight, take a scale with them to measure themselves every single 10 minutes to see if they are under the limit. It's very stressful. And that's not going to bring the best look, of course. The best look is going to bring if you don't have to think about it at all. Yeah. Honestly.
I think it just kind of messed up that certain guys have done many shows and they're personally getting attacked.
Yeah.
They just stand there. They're not hiding themselves. They're just standing there.
But isn't it the same when somebody wins a show who doesn't deserve the victory? They get personally attacked, but the judges
chose it.
Yeah.
It's none of, and listen, it's none of whoever's getting upset. It's not the athletes doing this.
But it's because in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, as an athlete, you go into the weigh-ins having a weight in mind that you can weigh.
Yeah.
So, and most of the guys are right against that weight. which corresponds to a certain height. Yeah. So you kind of know beforehand, I need to be this tall or I'm screwed.
Here, and I don't know enough about the human body, but if you're that dehydrated, couldn't it shrink discs and make you lose height?
Oh, the pads of your feet and stuff, definitely.
Yeah.
In the off season, you're probably a bit taller than dieted down all the way. Yeah. So it's
really, so you could literally be 6 feet tall, but you might be 5'10" and a half when you get heighted the day of.
Yeah, and that's the unpredictable nature of it, because the more you diet down, that's tall you could be, and that's why it's unpredictable, because every time it might be different, and that's why they made the heights permanent, of course, to kind of prevent this. But now
they're doing it
because it's permanent. You got to be 100% sure it's the right height, because otherwise you can get away with it forever, because you're not going to get checked anymore. So, but for me, again, from the athlete's perspective, if you don't have to get heighted anymore, like if it's permanent, it's so much smoother at the check-in, because especially at the Olympia, I'm Wesley Vissers, so a V, it's alphabetical order. So I sit there for at least an hour extra to wait for my turn to weigh in, because everybody has to get heighted and wait, and somebody complains it's not the right height, and it takes a super long time. So it's like 1 or 2 days before the show, and you're afraid to eat, because you don't know if you're going to be overweight. You can't drink, you can't eat. It kind of stresses you a little bit, so it always messes a bit with your mind and your look in the end if you're going through that process the whole time.
What do you think now that Urs is gone and Chris is gone? What do you think of the top landscape of the division?
So you have now a top 4. Like it's Mike, Ramon, Rough Diesel, and Logan Franklin. Because I think Logan really, in the Arnold, proved that he could get pretty close to Mike, especially conditioning. And I think the classic physique subjective measure, he has Mike beat, in my opinion. But Mike just has so much more mass and is more balanced. He hasn't got any gaps. So that's why Mike won. And that's why I think he probably will win the Olympia Classic as well. And then Ramon is a wild card, because he can either nail it or not. But he needs to nail it to battle with Mike, to really, get a good battle with him to compare. So I think with Ramon being the only one in that division, apart from Rough Diesel, who was second to Chris for a number of years, who has the experience and the motivation, who has been so close every time, he just needs to beat one guy and he's a winner. So I think that gives him also a special motivation. Now he's seeing, okay, Chris is gone. The only guy who I've ever got second to, Chris, at the Olympia, is gone. And now there's Mike in the way. At least compared to last year, Mike was second, so he's now the top contender.
He was second and he won the Arnold, so he's really,
he's really the
front runner.
Yeah, for sure. Even more than I was when I won the Arnold. So now we have Rough Diesel. I saw him in Pittsburgh against Josema. Rough Diesel, his shape is probably the most classic of all of them. But I really want to see how he stacks up against Mike mass-wise. Because the shape can be there, but you really need that extra mass next to Mike to say, okay, Rough is better. Even if you have the perfect shape, conditioning for Mike is also going to be extreme, so that you cannot really beat. Even in presentation, Mike is good. So Rough Diesel is the best one in that, but the difference isn't big enough with Mike to put him over the edge there. So for Rough Diesel, it's going to be a tough battle with Mike if he doesn't bring extra mass compared to Pittsburgh, especially in the back, for example. And then we have Logan. I think that's you have some new guys as well, but
you think Matt could get up in there, in that top 4?
No.
Yep.
I think Matt needs a new level of conditioning, which he hasn't shown yet, but he could. He's pretty balanced as well, but he really needs that conditioning. Because he has, for example, like Chris used to have great glutes, as strange as it is to talk about for a classic guy, the glutes nowadays play a big role. Yeah. And it seems that when you have great glutes, that shoots you to the top pretty quickly if they are conditioned. That's just.
Oh, there's that guy with the crazy. Who's the guy? Is that
The guy that got
Hosema.
second.
Yeah, but he's shredded.
That's the most shredded guy I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like that Hamdullah, the
Yes.
other guy. Yeah.
Oh,
the guy, a Turkish guy.
Oh, him.
Bodybuilding
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah, you probably don't know
But
who that is, but
honestly, Hosema, we were the New York Pro, right?
yes.
Yes. Then you saw Hosema in real
It's
life.
crazy, yeah.
He's also
Doesn't look
insane.
real.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
I want to ask you, what about Breon? He's already won it multiple times.
yeah.
And it looks like he's still in the mix.
He says this is his final one, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you never know with him, but I'm really impressed by how he looks. He looks 10 years younger than he actually is.
Yeah.
I'm like,
They're not showing any signs of
no.
slowing down.
Nothing.
He's looked good the last couple
Yeah,
of years.
he even improved.
Yeah.
Because his legs came down like a few years ago and then they got back up. Like, that's insane. But I think Breon is like around the top, like the number 5 spot. But it's going to be tough battling with new guys like Niall Darwin.
I've heard a lot about Niall.
He is one of the most incredible proportions in classic. The waist is ultra small, but he has at the same time very bubbly muscles. And that combination is quite rare to see. Usually those guys have a bit bigger waists, but that guy has really incredible V-taper, but still those bubbly muscles and incredible conditioning at the moment. Like, he's dug out.
You know what I'm going to say right now? The Olympia needs to have you do the commentary for Classic.
That would be nice.
No, I'm just
It's a really good breakdown.
You've gave down a honest breakdown of these are your competitors.
Yeah.
So you have to analyze them.
Yeah.
But you did it in a positive way to where someone who's not even a fan would understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if they listen to this, they need to put you on.
I'm open.
Only this year, because next year you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, but that's all. That's a little bit of the challenging part when you're still in it. Try to be not
Correct.
hurt feelings or be too personal, but it's never.
But don't be too good, because
Listen, people love to point out your weakness.
Always,
of course.
And they all have. Ralph Diesel has done it many times. I mean, Logan says he's a Texan oak, so he's a real oak. You've got all these things going on in classic physique, but for me, it's always. I'm never offended by nothing. So they can say anything they want. The Brazilians have done it, like everybody has done it. But that's only like for me, it's entertainment. It's fun. It brings life to the bodybuilding industry, and I just take it to heart and I make it my own. And then they lose their ammunition usually.
I have one other question I want to ask. I know I wouldn't want this thing to run forever because I know you got to get checked in and everything. But so bodybuilding has allowed you. Number one, I want to ask what your family thinks now to see your success.
Yeah, they're very, very proud.
They must be.
Yeah.
Did they attend? Did they get to come to any of these events?
In 2018, because I won my pro qualifier, pro show, pro debut, all right away. So they thought, okay, he's going to Olympia, he's going to win again. And we all went to Las Vegas with the whole family, like the uncle, the niece, the you name it, everybody. And we were there all wearing team. I was Vintage Genetics back then with the YouTube channel, so we all wear the hoodie. So the people were like, I've never seen such a big team around a competitor before. And then I did the prejudging, and I was in the first cut out, was in the second, I was probably in the third or the fourth or something. And we didn't know, but if you're not in the top 10, you're not in the finals.
Yeah.
So we all got the final tickets, of course, and stuff like this. But if I'm not there, I mean, yeah, they're not going to watch the finals if I'm not in the finals. So that was kind of a wake-up call as well, that it's not straightforward as that. But since then, of course, every time, even my children have gone to Florida once, where they could actually enjoy like a vacation for them.
Disney.
Yeah, in that area. We had a swimming pool for them. They really enjoyed it. And it was really nice to have them for once, but they're still too young to kind of understand what's going on. But it was nice to at least have that once happening.
How old are they?
Right now, 5 and 3.
Okay.
So back then it was like 3 and 1.5 or something, like very young. So, but it was still very special too.
You get to bodybuilding's brought you to all different cultures. You mentioned Brazil, and you've got to travel because of bodybuilding and see all these different, I know you're from, from overseas, but is there a favorite place you get to go to? And what has that been like? Have you ever thought you'd travel to be able to witness these other cultures in this business?
Well, I've traveled last year to South Korea, and the people there, I've never been to Asia before in my whole life, but the people there are so respectful for bodybuilding. And because in the Netherlands, in Europe, and even in the USA, sometimes you have people who are in line who are a little rude sometimes, or a little
impatient,
exactly. Yeah. And they expect a lot from you. Mm-hmm. But in South Korea, they wait, even if they have...
Very nice of people, yeah.
Even if they have to wait 2 or 3 hours, they are still there, patient,
happy.
They appreciate like even 10 seconds with you. They travel from all over the country to see you there. And they're so... It even feels a little bit awkward when they are so nice and friendly, and they want to take all your troubles, like carry your bag and stuff like this. Like, you're so respected. It was a different world to me. And it's cultures like this I can really appreciate. That makes me try to be a better person as well to others too, who are in a similar situation.
Incredible.
So there's a lot of guys jumping. Are we going to see Wesley on the open stage one day?
Well, one day, I've said this before.
I heard this.
Yeah. One day, before I stop, I really want to do an open show. And it's going to be a good one, because you have 2 options. You can either do just as Chris Bumstead, do like the Olympia, and then a couple weeks later do a show in the open. But is that really showing your open potential? That's just not caring about the weight cap and peaking correctly. Yeah, but you're a couple of pounds above it maybe then. But I really want to take an off-season specifically for an open show and be at my ultimate best at that show. So really go back into the whole off-season to your maximum weight, and then just die down until the physique you want to show on stage, regardless of the weight. And that's the show I want to do. Which show it's going to be, I don't know.
Got to be somewhere close to home.
Yeah, could be maybe the same Chris did, because that's
or maybe Arnold. Maybe he'll give you a special invite.
Yeah, the Arnold UK is also an option always.
You want to show you do kind of have a little bit of room.
Yeah, I think just like the Olympia, if you win the Arnold once, then you can always invite it. Of course. So
I started this podcast and I said you're too tall for open bodybuilding.
Yeah,
and we're kind of finishing with I'm going to open bodybuilding.
Got to get open.
I kind of feel a little shitty about that.
Well,
but what happens if classic is holding you back, and the real Wesley is in the open class? Like, what if the body filled? Maybe I don't know what you look like under these clothes, but I'm sure you're improving.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think classic holds some people back?
Yeah, some people for sure. It's even if it doesn't hold you back number-wise, it's still mentally you think I can't go all out, and you have to,
just like you were before this off season. I don't want to get I don't want to get fat, right?
Also with you gotta have a small waist and stuff like this, so you're afraid to eat too much. Like, you have to be in off season, sometimes a little bit uncomfortable. Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm not hungry for the next meal, but then you still gotta eat, and that's the point where you got to go through to grow. And when you achieve that point, if you don't eat the right foods, your stomach can be the victim of this. And in classic, that's dangerous, because that's the whole thing about classic. So that's what you got to look out for if you are deciding or wondering, okay, am I going to stay classic or open? Like, if you're going to be in the off-season for too long, even if the weight is not a problem, the look might be. Eventually,
I see. Though you said, like, when it's all said and done, that's where you're aiming to maybe do the open. So this isn't something you're not encouraged by Urs or Chris. The last
Urs is an extreme case, because I knew he had to lose weight, but so much I didn't know. I mean, of course, we have the same coach, so I talked to Stefan also, and I know Urs always had to do special things to make weight, but so much I didn't know.
He came here the other day and we took a picture. Like, I look like a little kid next to Urs now. Like, I trained with Urs a lot of Olympias that he came here early, and I said the same thing. I said, dude, you're a big fuck. We stood back to back right here. He took a picture.
I wondered that for a long time though, because we'd see Urs every year, and off season he looked like a open bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he was just probably holding himself back for multiple years.
Yeah.
Who knows where he'd be?
And he held himself back for this prep.
Yeah.
He was literally like going in, he's like, okay, July, I'm doing classic. And then all of a sudden the weight doesn't go anywhere. He's like, I just turned my mind. And so.
Yeah. He was also under the pressure of social media, thinking if he was going to do open, his fans would not like it as much. That's always such a stupid thing to have to think about, that you can't do what you really want to do because of those pressures.
I just think that they're fans of you.
Yeah.
Wherever you fit the best, they're not going to be like, oh, fuck that guy. He went over to this. No, they're fans of you.
Like, I also was afraid after doing the Arnold and losing a show, I was like, oh, people are not going to care about me anymore. But it doesn't matter. Like this,
you're going to walk around this place and people are going to be like, oh my God. Yeah. They're going to be so happy that they're going to get to visit with you.
We've already had it at the airport.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, hard to miss, you know what I mean?
So crazy. But that's so surreal. That once you are a name in the industry and people know who you are, that's all that matters. Of course, I still want to win as much as possible, but you are already in with the people.
History, man. Yeah. You're forever.
Yeah.
But we're happy you came, man. We're so happy you came over. Thank you so much for making time for us. We're excited. We actually talk a lot about you on this podcast, so I'm so glad you follow it. Anything else you want to say on here? Thanks to anyone? Anything special message to your people?
Yeah.
Like
right
what's
here,
next?
nobody can hear, just you and this camera.
Well, the reason why I can be here always is, of course, it might sound cliche, but you have sponsorships. But to me, it's not a sponsorship, it's a collaboration. It's like the people I work with are not businesses, but they're like, feel like a family, like friends, like you want to perform for them. And that's ESN, who brings me out to these shows every single time, who are the people behind it. Are so nice, are so likable. And that's really who I jive with. The same goes for Gym 80. My whole gym is equipped with Gym 80. And they're from Germany also. It happens to be both companies from Germany, but they're also very, very nice people. So I really want to thank those two companies, and also Able. The reason why I'm saying all this is because they provide directly, indirectly for my family as well. Like, I'm father of 2 children, and my fiance, she used to work a lot more at our gym. Now she's able to take more time off the gym to spend time with the children and the family and me as well. That's to me the ultimate freedom. Like, money is one thing, but the things it allows your life to be, to have the freedom in life to do these things, and to spend time with your children, not having to put them to daycare, but actually having them at home, makes a huge difference, not only for me, but also for them. So that's why I want to thank the sponsors for making that possible. And I will do my best to make them happy, but also everybody who supports me, because sponsors are one link in the chain, but ultimately it's everybody watching this, and also people following me or a fan of bodybuilding. Without them, nothing would be possible. So thank you very much, as always, for the golden support.
I think you need to learn some German.
Yes.
You got 2 sponsors.
Yeah.
It's time to learn some German.
I tried.
I'm going to wrap this up, but you're going to go on record as the most polite message sender we've ever had on the podcast. So tell me what the message was.
He really cares about the people that are around him.
But you sent also a message to Matt, like, so professional. What'd he say he said, hey, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
What did it say?
Yeah, I forgot.
What did it say?
Yeah, I know. So I was like, he sent me like a professional. I'm on my way.
Hey, Matt, I'm showing up at 6:35 p.m.
Because I respect your time, and I know that it's like later in the day for you guys, and and it's going to be a hectic week, so I wanted to make sure. Okay,
I had to squeeze you in, man.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it in Germany.
Yeah,
we have like the rest of the week is just completely packed. We're
That's
like,
why.
we have to do it tonight.
Yeah, yeah. That was the only chance, so I had to make it happen.
And now we got to leave here, go to sleep, and come back tomorrow morning.
Yeah, yeah. Same for me. We got to sleep early this time.
So thank you so much, man. Wish you the best and enjoy the weekend.
Appreciate it.